Some stars enter Hollywood quietly, while others arrive with a presence that instantly reshapes the room. Barbara Eden belonged firmly in the second group. From the moment she appeared on television screens in the early 1960s, audiences felt they were witnessing something special. She wasn't just another actress learning her marks or delivering lines. She carried herself with warmth, poise, and an unmistakable sparkle that made people lean closer to the screen. Her charm felt effortless, never forced, and always genuine. Viewers didn't just watch her shows. They welcomed her into their living rooms. At a time when television was becoming a shared family experience, Barbara Eden stood out as someone who could appeal to all ages without compromising her elegance. Her smile conveyed optimism, her expressions radiated kindness, and her presence suggested possibility. Long before she became synonymous with one iconic role, she had already mastered the art of being unforgettable. Barbara Eden wasn't chasing attention. Attention naturally found her, becoming a cultural moment, not just a character. When I Dream of Jeannie premiered, no one could have predicted the cultural footprint it would leave behind. At the heart of that success was Barbara Eden, who transformed a whimsical concept into something timeless. She didn't play Jeannie as a gimmick or novelty. Instead, she infused the character with sincerity, playfulness, and heart. Jeannie was magical, yes, but also curious, loyal, and delightfully human. Barbara Eden's performance made the fantasy believable, grounding it in emotion rather than spectacle. She understood that the real magic wasn't the blinking effects or scripted wishes, but the connection viewers felt with the character. Week after week, audiences tuned in not just for laughs, but for the comfort of a familiar presence. Jeannie felt like a friend who brought joy into routine evenings. That emotional resonance is why the show still holds meaning decades later. Barbara Eden didn't just portray a character, she created a cultural touchstone. Grace over gimmicks in a changing industry television in the 1960s was evolving quickly, yet it still operated under strict standards and expectations. What made Barbara Eden remarkable was her ability to shine brightly within those boundaries. She didn't rely on shock value or controversy to command attention. Instead, she used timing, expression, and natural charisma to captivate viewers. Her performances reminded audiences that charm doesn't need to shout to be heard. While other shows experimented with louder formats, Barbara Eden remained a steady symbol of grace. She understood the power of subtlety, using posture, tone, and warmth to leave lasting impressions. This approach not only elevated her work, but set her apart in an industry beginning to chase trends. Barbara Eden proved that enduring appeal comes from authenticity, not excess. Her success demonstrated that audiences respond deeply to sincerity, especially when it's paired with talent. In a rapidly changing entertainment landscape, she remained timeless by simply being herself, the iconic look that became history. It's impossible to discuss Barbara Eden without acknowledging the visual legacy she created. Her Jeannie costume became one of the most recognizable outfits in television history, not because it was flashy, but because of how confidently she wore it. Every detail, from the silhouette to the styling, worked in harmony with her expressive performance. She carried the look with elegance rather than exaggeration, turning it into an extension of the character rather than a distraction. What truly made the costume iconic was Barbara herself. Her posture, facial expressions, and graceful movements gave it life. Viewers didn't remember the outfit alone, they remembered how she made them feel. The look became symbolic of an era when creativity thrived within limits. Decades later, the image remains instantly recognizable, a testament to how thoughtfully crafted design paired with genuine performance can create something legendary. Barbara Eden didn't just wear an iconic look, she defined it. Beyond the screen, a woman of depth. Off-camera, Barbara Eden was far more than a television persona. She was a dedicated professional, a thoughtful collaborator, and a woman navigating the complexities of fame with humility. Colleagues often spoke of her kindness on set and her respect for everyone involved in production. She understood that success was a shared effort, not a solo performance. Barbara approached her career with discipline, continuously refining her craft rather than resting on popularity. She took roles seriously, prepared diligently, and valued growth over comfort. This depth translated into longevity, allowing her to remain relevant long after many contemporaries faded from the spotlight. Audiences sensed this authenticity, even if they couldn't articulate it. There was always something real beneath the glamour. Barbara Eden's off-screen character reinforced her on-screen appeal. She wasn't simply playing someone enchanting. She embodied professionalism, empathy, and resilience. That balance made her legacy not just admired, but respected. Fashion as self-expression, not statement. Throughout her career, Barbara Eden demonstrated that fashion could be expressive without being overpowering. Whether appearing in studio portraits, magazine features, or public events, her style reflected confidence and joy rather than trends alone. She favored silhouettes that complemented her presence instead of competing with it. Her fashion choices felt personal, not performative. Each look carried an ease that suggested comfort in her own skin. This approach resonated with fans who saw her as aspirational, yet relatable. She wasn't trying to redefine fashion, she was simply enjoying it. That authenticity made her style memorable. Even decades later, images of Barbara Eden continue to inspire designers and admirers alike. They represent an era where elegance didn't require excess and beauty wasn't manufactured. Her fashion legacy reminds us that confidence is the most enduring accessory. Barbara Eden didn't follow style rules. She trusted her instincts, and they rarely failed her. A legacy built on respect. What sets Barbara Eden apart from many icons is the respect she commands across the industry. Her career is often cited as an example of how to balance visibility with integrity. She maintained clear boundaries while still being expressive and creative. That balance earned her admiration from peers and professionals alike. Directors, writers, and fellow actors recognized her reliability and dedication. She wasn't just talented, she was trustworthy. That reputation opened doors and sustained opportunities. Barbara Eden's legacy isn't built solely on popularity, but on professionalism. She demonstrated that kindness and discipline are not obstacles to success, but foundations of it. This respect extended beyond her active years, influencing how she is remembered. Her name carries positive associations because she consistently acted with care. In an industry often marked by extremes, her steady presence stands out. Respect like that cannot be manufactured, it must be earned, and she earned it fully. Nostalgia, that still feels alive. Nostalgia often risks becoming static, frozen in memory rather than alive in experience. Barbara Eden's work avoids that trap. When audiences revisit her performances, they don't feel outdated. They feel familiar in the best way. Her humor, expressions, and emotional cues remain accessible. This liveliness keeps her work relevant. It invites rediscovery rather than mere remembrance. Nostalgia becomes a bridge, not a boundary. Barbara Eden's presence carries warmth that transcends time. Watching her today feels less like looking back and more like reconnecting. That quality is rare and valuable. It allows her legacy to continue growing rather than settling into the past. Nostalgia associated with her work isn't about longing for what was lost, but appreciating what still resonates. She reminds us that certain qualities never go out of style. Kindness, charm, and sincerity remain powerful no matter the decade. Why her image still resonates. Images of Barbara Eden continue to circulate not because of novelty, but because of emotional connection. They capture moments of confidence, joy, and authenticity. Each photograph tells a story beyond appearance. There's intention in her posture, warmth in her expression, and ease in her presence. These qualities make the images enduring. They feel less like artifacts and more like windows into a personality. That resonance isn't accidental. It reflects how she approached every aspect of her career. She was present, engaged, and genuine. Visual media often exaggerates or distorts, but Barbara Eden's images feel honest. They invite appreciation rather than scrutiny. This is why they continue to be shared and admired. They represent more than style or era. They reflect an individual who understood herself. That self-awareness translates visually, creating images that remain compelling long after trends fade. A reminder of entertainment's heart. In today's fast-paced media environment, it's easy to forget that entertainment once centered on connection. Barbara Eden's career serves as a reminder of that core purpose. She didn't aim to overwhelm audiences. She aimed to engage them. Her work prioritized emotion over spectacle, sincerity over shock. That approach created trust. Audiences felt safe investing their attention because they knew they would be rewarded with warmth. This philosophy feels especially relevant now as viewers seek comfort and meaning alongside excitement. Barbara Eden's legacy offers a blueprint for lasting impact. It suggests that entertainment succeeds best when it respects its audience. She never underestimated viewers' intelligence or emotional capacity. Instead, she met them with honesty. That respect fostered loyalty that continues decades later. Her career reminds us that entertainment's heart lies not in excess, but in connection. That lesson remains invaluable. Celebrating a woman who defined her own terms. Barbara Eden never allowed herself to be reduced to a single role or image. While she embraced the character that brought her global recognition, she also maintained a strong sense of self beyond it. She understood the importance of defining her own narrative. This autonomy shaped her choices and preserved her dignity. She didn't chase reinvention for validation. She evolved naturally, guided by values rather than pressure. That self-definition allowed her to navigate fame without losing perspective. Barbara Eden's story is one of agency as much as talent. She reminds us that success doesn't require surrendering identity. It requires clarity. By staying grounded in who she was, she ensured that her work remained authentic. That authenticity is what audiences continue to respond to. Celebrating her means recognizing not just what she did, but how she did it, on her own terms, with grace. Why legends never really fade. Legends endure because they leave more than memories. They leave standards. Barbara Eden set a standard for how to be visible without being consumed by visibility. She showed that charm could coexist with intelligence and popularity with integrity. These qualities ensure that her legacy remains active rather than archival. New audiences don't just learn about her, they connect with her. That connection keeps her relevant. Legends like Barbara Eden don't fade because they represent ideals that remain meaningful. Her work continues to inspire because it reflects values people still seek: warmth, authenticity, and joy. Time doesn't diminish those qualities, it highlights them. As entertainment continues to evolve, her career stands as a reminder of what endures. Barbara Eden didn't chase immortality. She earned it through consistency and care. That is why her name still resonates and why it always will. An invitation to remember and share. Every admirer of Barbara Eden has a moment that sparked appreciation. It might have been a first viewing of I Dream of Jeannie, a rediscovered interview, or a photograph that captured her unmistakable warmth. These moments are personal, yet shared across generations. That collective memory keeps her legacy alive. Remembering her isn't just about looking back, it's about acknowledging the qualities that still matter. Barbara Eden's story invites reflection on what we value in entertainers and in ourselves. She represents a balance of talent and kindness that feels increasingly rare. Sharing these memories strengthens that legacy. It ensures that her influence continues to reach new audiences. Celebrating her is less about nostalgia and more about recognition. Recognition of a woman who brought joy, respect, and authenticity to everything she did. Barbara Eden's impact lives on because people choose to remember it and to pass it forward.